he's going into a really good situation with a really good coach.
Okay.
He needs to prove himself in the pros, but he's coming in with a really good track
Does
record.
the overall success of a franchise, though, make you concerned? I mean, they've had limited success.
They have had limited success, but here's the thing about Trevor Lawrence is Trevor Lawrence has won on every level. He's played at the highest peak on every level, whether it be high school or college. Like he played at Clemson, and this was no, cupcake walk through the ACC. I mean, some of the games obviously were, but
they had a proven program there.
Elite. He played against elite competition.
That's true.
And in elite games.
Yeah.
And that's the type of competition he's going to be playing at the NFL level. And yes, Jacksonville does not have the world's greatest track record, but they have some solid pieces. They have what I would be considered a good incoming coach in Urban Meyer, transitioning out of retirement to come coach in the pros. And this is a good landing spot. This could not be a better landing spot for someone than Trevor Lawrence.
Okay.
So because the second spot I am very much concerned about.
Exactly. Okay, so let's get into that because there may be room for some shakeup here as well. But I think it's pretty safe bet that at least 2 to 3 other quarterbacks are going to be taken early in the first round, don't you think?
Oh, there's 5 going in the top 10.
5 in the top.
I would be shocked if 5.
That's a lot of quarterbacks.
This is the best quarterback draft we've had in the last 20 plus years.
Okay,
I mean,
wow,
without question.
That
doesn't mean they're going to pan out like that.
Of course,
because obviously it doesn't always do that. But
right.
With what we have at the top 2 with Zach Wilson coming out of BYU, the concern for him is he played against weak talent in a weak conference. And when he played against good talent, he wasn't great.
Well, in a division like the Jets are in now that it's without Tom Brady, the Bills were good. But that's probably the biggest.
The Bills aren't just good. The Bills are great.
All right, I'll give you that. But a weakened Patriots, Miami, fine. Like they got to get better.
Here's the thing: the Jets are easily the worst team in this division, regardless of who they draft. Miami has so many draft picks; it's unreal. If they had stuck with Ryan Fitzpatrick, that was a playoff team. They needed to see what they had in Tua last year, which is why they sat Fitzy. The Bills are elite. The Patriots, I think, made a lot of really good moves in the offseason. Nothing elite, but they actually gave Cam Newton weapons.
Yeah.
Last year he had absolute just trash cans out there. Now, some of the play was definitely on Cam. I won't say that, but he had legitimately just these garbage receivers because Edelman was hurt most of the year. I mean, that was all they had. So they brought in some, again, not elite talent. I would say a lot of twos, but known twos that can play.
Okay. So maybe not so much of a weakened division, but more of a really tall order for a struggling franchise. Whoever goes to New York is going to have a lot on their plate. Yeah.
At least they don't have Adam Gase. Thank God. Worst coach in NFL history. Awful. I don't know how that dude continued to get jobs, but Zach Wilson's going to have it cut out for him. I don't think he should be chosen at 2. I think they should go with Mac Jones.
Okay.
I think someone that's just more proven.
Out of
someone
Alabama.
That is very elusive in the pocket, and the Jets don't have a great offensive line.
Okay.
You're going to need someone like that. And that brings us to number 3. Mac Jones is projected to go 3rd to the San Francisco 49ers. I love this pick for them, but I'm not confident that that's who they're going to go with. I think the ceiling of Mac Jones is not as great as Justin Fields, because Mac Jones isn't as mobile as Justin Fields. Justin Fields is super mobile. He's super quick. He's super elusive. I really like Justin Fields, but if he doesn't go to San Francisco, I'm not going to be in love with him, because I'm in love with Shanahan's offense. I'm in love with Shanahan's program. And Shanahan makes good players elite. Which then I think it brings us, we have another quarterback, Trey Lance. Again, this is very similar to Zach Wilson. Weak conference, good against bad opponents, coming out of North Dakota State, going to Atlanta. But this is a really good situation, because they are going to, if they draft a quarterback, they're going to sit him behind Matt Ryan. And this is going to be a sit and learn kind of offense for him for a couple of years until they can kind of move on. So if it were Justin Fields going to Atlanta, I like this in the long term. Because Mac Jones is more ready to play now, but Atlanta, is going to stick with Matt Ryan for a couple of years until it's time to move on.
Interesting. So it may even come down to just how much do you want to win this year, or is it more of a we're just hoping to even make playoffs as a wild card, and then next year we want to come back and give everyone a run for their money type
Yeah, I mean,
thing.
the Falcons still have elite receivers. I mean, you look at Calvin Ridley and you look at Julio Jones.
Right.
I mean, Calvin Ridley is arguably better than Julio now at this point in his career, but you don't sleep on Julio Jones, man. He's proved that last year.
Not.
Like, he's still a beast.
Right. Okay.
It's like that first year that Julio was there with Rowdy White in Atlanta. Like, you want to talk about, like, legitimately the best wide receiver duo in the league at that time. It was Rowdy White and Julio Jones.
One team that we were all kind of projecting to see win a bit more than they have in the last few seasons is Cincinnati. The Bengals had a good flash in the pan of they got something here with Burrow. Then he got hurt, as we know. So it was a tough year for them. What do you think that, like, what should they keep in mind here as they have a top 5 pick at the top 5 spot?
I think there's 2 places to go. You have to go offensive line, or you're going to go get the next, arguably the best player on the board outside of your quarterbacks.
Okay.
And in my opinion, that's Kyle Pitts. This dude is a game changer at tight end. If you really want to get a weapon for Joe Burrow, he has a great young running back in Joe Mixon. You know how much I love Joe Mixon.
You love Joe Mixon.
Receivers are half decent, but they could definitely use some help. But someone like Kyle Pitts is a generational talent when it comes to tight end. Just go watch film on this dude. He will blow your mind.
Okay.
But their offensive line is so bad. As good as Joe Mixon is, he can't do anything because he's getting hit 2 yards in the backfield.
Right.
I mean, he's not even getting a chance to get some sort of speed.
Yeah.
As good and as great of a player as he truly is, you put him on a team with a half-decent line. Dude, Joe Mixon is a baller. I mean, he's Dalvin Cook talent-esque, but
you've been saying that for years, and I've been looking for it.
He's proven it.
It's true. He's had some monster games, but again, as far as a fantasy implication, I mean,
it is still a team sport. You still have to have some offensive line. Right. I mean, not everyone is Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
So.
You mentioned that Miami's going to have plenty of picks. They're going to come away with some stuff. I think it's worth keeping an eye on. But how about the Detroit Lions? That's another franchise, once again, of course, in the top 10. All these first-round picks, you're going to see a lot of teams that are just struggling, have had a history of it. The Lions need to get to the playoffs. What do they do here? It looks like they're projected to take a wide receiver. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be down on that. They just lost Kenny Galladay. They have been, they lost Marvin Jones. They need a wide receiver. I mean, they at least have a stopgap in, I'm picturing his face, Jared Goff. They have a stopgap in Jared Goff after the trade. And so they will probably ride that out for a couple of years to see if they can do something. If one of the quarterbacks drops to them, I wouldn't be surprised if they take it, but I don't think that's going to happen. And I think that they do go with a wide receiver. I think the best wide receiver is probably out of Alabama, probably Devontae Smith. But that doesn't mean that that's who they're going to go with. They may go with someone else. Jamar Chase is also projected to be really high up there. You have Jalen Waddle as well too out of Alabama, but this is a decent class for wide receivers as well too. Not as good as last year. Last year's wide receiver class is insane. So but I could see them easily going with a wide receiver because they have massive holes to fill there with an elite wide receiver in Galladay moving on, and a really really good like low end 1, high end 2 in Marvin Jones also leaving.
All right. Well, because you're such a fan of the Cowboys, what's something that hope that they go for? Cornerback. So that's what they're doing.
Oh my goodness, their defense is so atrocious. They need a cornerback.
Okay. I feel the passion just coming through the headphones here for me.
Yeah.
Ooh,
they should have taken one last year, except for the fact that CeeDee Lamb fell to them, and that was the right pick.
Yeah.
He fell like 5 or 6 spots.
Right. And
that was the right pick.
It was proven a good pick, too. As a rookie,
yeah.
So it'd be exciting to see what he can do in 21. Let's change gears, though. Hopping out of that topic, let's jump on into basketball, NBA Lightning standings. We haven't talked about where everyone is currently in this season. And, when I honestly was looking at some of the conferences, I was a little surprised. Some of the teams I think we knew were going to be really good, but the way the wins and losses are lined up right now, it is pretty compelling. Some interesting stuff for the home stretch of the NBA, which the playoffs are due to begin on Saturday, May 22nd. So still about a month plus. And yeah.
Okay.
Eric, what are you doing?
I'm going to jump
East
into it so
Yeah.
so we don't run out of time here. I'm going to start from the bottom, go to the top. I'm taking the East. So we got Detroit Pistons 16-39, awful. Orlando Magic 18-37, awful. Cleveland Cavaliers 20-35, not as awful, but still pretty bad. Washington Wizards 21-33. Toronto Raptors 22-34. Chicago Bulls 22-32. Pacers 26-28. Charlotte Hornets are an even 500, 27-27. Miami Heat one game above at 28-27. The Knicks are 29-27. Boston Celtics 30-26. Atlanta Hawks 30-26. That's definitely a surprise for me. Milwaukee Bucks not as good as people wanted, 35-20. And above them, the Brooklyn Nets, although I think this was very expected, 37-18. And the 76ers, trust in the process still, 38-17, leading the East.
In the process. In the Western Conference, you got the Minnesota Timberwolves sitting down the bottom. That's 14-42 for their record. I take a page from Eric's book and just call them awful. Houston Rockets 14-41, also awful. 20-35, Oklahoma City Thunder. Then you got Sacramento Kings at 22-34. 25-30 go to the New Orleans Pelicans. 26-27 to the San Antonio Spurs. The Golden State Warriors are an even 500 at 28-28. 27-26 is the record for the Memphis Grizzlies. Dallas Mavericks have 30 wins and 24 losses. 31 wins go to the Portland Trail Blazers with a 23 in the loss column. 34-22 is the record for the LA Lakers. So falling behind just a little bit, maybe missing LeBron more than we thought. 35-20 Denver Nuggets, LA Clippers. 39-18, 40-15 to the Phoenix Suns. Check them out. 41-14 goes to the Utah Jazz, and a best in basketball record.
Wow, that's insane. So, guys, that does it for this week. Shout out to our marketing department.
Shout out.
Thank you so much for listening. We'll catch you all next week.
Watch some sports.
Thanks for tuning in to Average Sports with Average Guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, and we'll see y'all next time.